Boy, what a mess this was. I'm Joe Retton with the retro review of WCW Nitro for December 12th, 2000, a special Tuesday edition, taking place in Shreveport, very prominent Mid-South wrestling city. And boy, it's unfortunate that the Southern wrestling fans got to see WCW at this point, and I miss WCW. I just don't miss this WCW. There were some good talents. There were some talents that were really trying, but there was no creative direction. The company was going to be out of business in 3.5 goddamn months, and they're heading towards the last Starrcade. I don't count what WWE does, because that ain't Starrcade. That's a fucking goddamn dumpster fire. This show was also a dumpster fire. It starts off, since they're in Shreveport, they're in the Bayou area. We have a guy that's making gumbo or something in the kitchen. Jeff Jarrett just hits him in the head with a guitar. Why was Jeff doing this? Why was he just randomly hitting people? Where was he getting the funding to go out and do this stuff? Why was WCW doing this? He broke so many guitars but never drew a goddamn dime. Giovanni, Scott Hudson, Stevie Ray on commentary. Thankfully, this would be leading to Mark Madden soon being out of the company and off of commentary and not plaguing commentary anymore. Still have to put up with him at Starrcade 2000, but my God, one of the worst goddamn commentators ever. Especially for anybody that wasn't just part of one show. He brought down everything he was involved in. I like Scott Hudson, though. And then Lex Luger and Mike Sanders are talking strategy. Sanders is talking. When Sanders is the best talker and the most intelligent person in a promo segment, that's pretty goddamn bad. And Lex is like, well, I'm facing Goldberg. Hey, how about we give Goldberg a tune-up match? Something like that. It's all implied. We talk about this strategy. Here's Flair. Talk about Scott Steiner and Sid. They can't touch each other, or the match is off and they'll be suspended. Scott Steiner will have the title stripped from him. And then says, hey, Scott, you took out various people like Arn Anderson, Sting, and Booker T. Well, they may be here tonight. They weren't even on camera that I recall. Maybe I totally missed it. Kind of blanking out some of this show, which is why I write notes. Mike Sanders is here, gets asshole chance, and Flair says, hey, listen to your audience. To be fair, Mike Sanders was a bit of an asshole, at least on camera. And then Sanders botches his comeback, which is absolutely just astounding. I mean, to be fair, though, he was just thrown out there to, basically be a character with probably no real direction. And he books a 3-way tag match with 4 members of the Natural Born Thrillers against Nash and DDP, which is hyping up what was going to happen at Starrcade when the Perfect Event faced off again. Well, Perfect Event, Jindrak and O'Hare, and, everybody would try to get at Nash and DDP and prevent them from getting the tag team championships. And then Flair says, hey, Sanders, how about you face Sid? He's like, I don't want to, but I will. No interference from the Thrillers, or Sanders is no longer commissioner. Scott Steiner arrives and lashes Miss LaRue, Mr. LaRue, and also lashes several other people. He's basically just tempted to just take out everybody. Lash LaRue, really odd run in WCW. I mean, it wasn't bad. I don't recall him doing anything of note afterwards, except appearing on the first ever NWA TNA pay-per-view. So we then get Mean Gene interviewing Sid. He confuses Rick with Scott Steiner. Good job there. I mean, he recovers quickly, but good God. And he's just yelling more. Jindrak and O'Hare take the monitor out of Goldberg's room. And we find out later, probably because they needed one. Probably because they were cutting costs and they were like, shit, we need a monitor. Goldberg doesn't watch TV. Take his. And then Sarge arrives, the guy that, trained Goldberg and various others at the power plant. Screams at Disco, presses him up against the door. That was good stuff. And then Lance Storm does his, can I be serious for a minute, all that stuff, and says, hey, Ernest Miller, if you lose in this mixed tag match that we're going to have, you have to sing the Canadian National Anthem on Thunder. Miller arrives and says, how about this? I'll do that, but if you lose, you have to sing the U.S. National Anthem. Okay, whatever. And it's Miller and Miss Jones versus Storm and Major Guns. Okay, so we have 15 minutes of talking. This match went about 5 minutes. Good pacing there. It's like WWE 2020. So Skipper tries to help out Storm. Duggan throws his wood in the ring, and Miller catches it and strokes Duggan's wood right into Storm's face. And then, pins him for 3. So now Storm must sing the U.S. National Anthem, easy for me to say, on Thunder. And Jimmy Hart's DJ Challenge. This is still going on. And in MIA, the remaining members of MIA, a group I absolutely hate, we're talking strategy backstage. And the Thrillers are talking. And then Crowbar and Daphne are on commentary. Daphne, who I really actually like. I really do care for Daphne. Still looks great. Wish they would have done more with her in WCW. And then we get Norman Smiley saying he's going back to his hardcore roots. He wants to face Crowbar for the Hardcore Championship, but he needs a warm-up match. Open challenge. Answered by Ming. Why Norman Smiley didn't run, I have no idea. As tough as Norman Smiley is, I wouldn't want to face Ming. And Paisley's also there in an afro that's just about as big as Ming's. It was a wig, though. Okay, so during the Storm promo, there was a guy dressed as Santa Claus walking around the crowd. And Norman and Ming bow to the stage, and then here's Santa Claus. And Norman steals his sack, hits Santa's sack into Ming's face. They get back to the ring. Here's Santa Claus, and he throws soot in everybody's eyes, and that causes a DQ. In a hardcore match, by the way. DQs in a hardcore match. The crowd's booing, and we don't know what the fuck's going on here. Ming then chokes out Paisley because he's blind, and then chokes out Kwee-Wee, who tries to stop that because he's blinded. It's Terry Funk as Santa. Santa Funk, if you will. Santa Funk you up. Santa Funk you up. My God, I sound so white. And he challenges Crowbar at Starrcade. And Crowbar says, it would be my honor. And then Funk cracks him in the head with a chair. This segment was atrocious. And Terry Funk has done a lot of goofy shit, but man, this was really fucking bad. This was a weird way to bring Funk back, for a prominent position, or at least some kind of prominent match at Starrcade. And then Sarge wants Luger. And Sanders basically says, well, how about this? You get him on Thunder if you do this for me. You got to face a guy. Who do I got to face? We find out later. It's Goldberg. He faces Goldberg. The Harris brothers arrive and see giant footlongs. No dark meat, because otherwise they wouldn't consume them, because they're the Nazi Harris brothers, the dumb sons of bitches. And the filthy animals are watching backstage. Well, Kidman and Conan, where's Ray? Ray is so small, he's hidden in the luggage. That's adorable. They spike the sandwiches with laxatives. We find that out later. More promos. And then Sanders says he can't wrestle. I'm not medically cleared. So Sanders in street clothes faces Sid in street clothes and powerbomb 1, 2, 3. Total squash. As it should have been. One funny thing, though. Look at Sid in 97. Even like early 98. And then take a look at him in late 2000. He aged 10 years in like 3. It's really kind of astounding. I mean, Father Time is undefeated, but he's only 40. And he really looked like he aged quite a bit. And then, unfortunately, his leg would, his career would, be cut very, very short by that break at Sin. Oh, fuck, I gotta review that. And then Sid decides to, go backstage and throw a security guard into the door because he won't give him the keys to various cars in the parking lot. And then we get a brawl with Reno and Vito and the Perfect Event. Well, Chronic are there also, but then the Natural Born Thrillers are also there, and it makes no goddamn sense. It seems like Reno and Vito are together. They're brothers and their sister that I believe is there, or Vito, whatever, I don't know. Some woman that's there and just like, oh, thank God they're back together. Cool, whatever. Nash and DDP versus the Perfect Event, Jindrak and O'Hare, 4-on-2, a mess. Palumbo pins Nash after a big old fracas. It was ridiculous. And then groin pain for Nash because he got, his knee and his groin slammed into the post. Sarge versus Goldberg. This was the match, and Goldberg didn't want to face his mentor, and Sarge kept beating him down. Eventually got hit with the spear and the jackhammer while Luger watched on from the stage. And so now Sarge is going to get Luger on Thunder, like he would be in any condition, since they're taping Thunder right after Nitro here. And then we get Noble talking to Ming and his crew, Kwee-Wee, and then I think the Filthy Animals are also there. I don't want to team with Evan Courageous. Then here's Evan Courageous, who says, Sid's in the parking lot moving cars. We gotta go see what he's doing. So, Lash LaRue versus Shane Douglas. Shane wants revenge because Hugh Morris took out Tori Wilson. Like, Tori getting it in the face was, the first time that ever happened for her. I don't care. Tori's a bitch. I'll say that. And we get a dive from Lash LaRue. We get a table spot, and then, the announcer's table spot. And Stevie Ray constantly saying, Tony, let me ask you something. Yes, Stevie, what do you want to ask me? I don't know why that amuses me. And Chavo encourages Lash to use a chair. Hey, you don't need these MIA guys. He uses a chair and causes a DQ. And then Shane gets that chain they used, the Shane chain, if you will, and fists him brutally until Hugh Morris runs him off. And Hugh Morris and Chavo are yelling at each other. Jarrett then gets the Sandwich Brothers, the Nazi Sandwich Brothers, to the ring. Sid isn't moving cars in the parking lot. He's taken on valet services because why the fuck not? He's got half the valet brains that we do. And then Mike Awesome challenges Bam Bam Bigelow to an ambulance match. So, Filthy Animals versus Jarrett and the Harris Brothers in an elimination match. Easy for me to say. The Harris Brothers are, they have laxatives, so they got the shits, so they can't be there. Jarrett manages to eliminate Conan, but then gets rolled up by Ray after hitting Kidman with a guitar shot. 1, 2, 3. It's a Starrcade preview. It was not good. And then Sid has a circle of cars challenging Steiner to meet him in the parking lot because it can't happen in the building, but it can happen in the parking lot. Scott Steiner versus Sergeant AWOL, a.k.a. The Wall, World Championship match. A brawl with a chair, being used a few times. A table bump, table plex, ouch, that looked painful. Recliner for the win. Then Sid takes over the Nitro Vision, is yelling at him and says, hey, come meet me out in the parking lot. So he comes and meets him out in the parking lot. And they brawl a bit, and it's shit. Anyway, I got Thunder to review after this, and then Starrcade. Hooray! More WCW. Agree, disagree what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethlin. I'll see you soon.